Hello and a very warm welcome back. This is episode 3 and today we're going from Gatwick to Innsbruck, so that's in Austria. And first of all, we're going to take you through the whole setup of the flight today, including the cockpit preparations and what we do to get the aircraft from this state, which is a cold and dark state, all the way through to a ready to go and take off state. So we're going to go through it all. First of all, we'll go through the what we're going to be doing with the aircraft. So today we're taking off on Gatwick 8 right on the Oddvik to Zulu via Oddvik, Dover, Conan, Cock, Peters, KRH, Batup, Made B, Made 1 Bravo to runway 26 in Innsbruck today. We have got a flight level of 370, 37,000 feet, cost index of 15. We have 129 souls on board and 3.4 kilos ton of cargo. We're going to be taking a block fuel of 9 ton, gives us a zero fuel weight at 58, takeoff weight of 66.7, and it gives us a zero fuel weight Mach percentage of 35.3%, so down 1.0 trim. Our alternate today is Munich at 152 miles away from our destination via the Betzer 1 Alpha, also arriving on 8 right. Okay, so preliminary cockpit. First of all, we need to make sure both engines masters 1 and 2 are off and the ignition and the engine mode selector is in the normal position, which it is. Weather radar is off, landing gear is down and check down. Both wipe selectors are off. Battery, now we're going to check battery for auto, so battery 1 and battery 2 is alive, and now we're going to put the external power on. That's the external power on, and we're going to check the APU fire guard is down, and we're going to test the APU fire guard, and APU fire guard is stood. Now we can use the APU as required. We're not going to put it on just yet because obviously we've got external power to save fuel. Cockpit lights is required, so we'll put the integras up to about medium, and we're going to put the cruise supply oxygen on, and we're going to align the nav 1 on battery and light extinguish, nav 2 on battery and light extinguish, and nav 3 on battery and light extinguish. We're going to put the standby comms unit on. Fuel pumps can stay off for a minute, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to do the lights. So we want strobe light to auto, we want nav light to 2, and we want seat belts to auto and emergency exit armed, and we're also going to test the top integras LEDs. So everything's correct there, swing down and everything's right there. Set them to bright. We're then going to check the air conditioning panel on COVID, so packs will be low as per operating procedures, and we can go ahead now and do the ECAM recall push buttons and check all our warnings. Speed brake levers are retracted, flaps are retracted, parking brake is on and set, which it is. Cockpit doors open for now, and we can put the radios on. So radios are on there, and we'll select our desired system, which will be FMC on both MCDUs, and we could go to press the recall button, go to system, recall. There's nothing come up, so that's good. Our doors are open, which is correct, and we're now going to check the warnings for the glide slope.
Pull up, terrain, pull up,
which is correct, and we're going to go ahead and test our oxygen levels. So my side, and the first officer will check his side. Security search is as required. Emergency equipment is on board. Radar pellet is good. CB paddles check. Gear pins, cowling flags, and aircraft library. So that is the checklist as we know it. We'll put this to 100 in a minute. So everything else is right. Just take that down. Okay, now we're going to set the IRS position. Let's do that. We're going to go to a different view here. So we're going to go to lower ECAM. And we're going to zoom out a couple, come across with the camera, and let's pan down a bit too much. Okay, so our initial page. We're going today from Gatwick, so EGKK, and we're going to LOWI, so Lima Oscar Whiskey India. We'll put that up here. It should have our route already preset. That is incorrect, so we will return. That is so we're going to do a different, so EGKK. That was off another day. It's got different runway, LOWI, and we're going to go 01 for sim brief, and we're going to put company route in. This time we'll load the right company route. Okay, our flight number today is obviously EZY, so for EasyJet, and it's 8291. Cost index is 15, and our cruising altitude is 370. We can now align the IRS. I'll wait for that to show where the alignment is. I think that's correct, so we double check that everything is correct. Yes, it is. So we can align our ref and confirm alignment, and then we could go back to the page was on. We're going to scroll across. Our zero fuel weight is not that. Hold on. I know what I haven't done. So here we go. That's what I mean we have checklists for. So let's open up the aircraft doors first of all. Let's get the cargo open. I'll return it. We'll put a load of fuel in, so that might help. So we've got 129 passengers, and we've got 3.4 tons of cargo, which should give us around 58. There we are, 58%. And we're taking 9 tons of fuel with us. And now with GSX, we're going to use GSX. We're going to start fueling the aircraft now. Hence why the seatbelt signs went on. Now we'll go into zero fuel weight, and we'll see we've got the right figure. However, we know that the percentage we want is 35.3. And we'll put that up there. Block fuel we'll put in at 9, and that is now computerized. We've got a performance page on this side, and we're going to go flaps 1, but we're going down 1.0. That gives a flex temp of 36, and minimums around this airport for our thrust acceleration. Engine altitude, engine out can be fine. Okay, our flight plan. So we're checking, we're coming out on the 8 right, and we're going to check these waypoints here. Oh, hold on. Don't know why TT was in there. Strange. Okay, so we're going to check plus 3,000. Okay, when we know the aircraft can do that. And then we're going to go, so we're plus 5,000 there. And then we're going to check Oddvic. And I'm going to plus 6,000 there, because we're not on VATSIM or ATC. So we can have an unrestricted climb. And I'll change. And also here, made B1 Bravo and LM, so I want to be at 13,000. I don't want to really be, I don't want to be plus, I want to be at 13,000, just makes the transition easier. Not allowed. Oh god. So we could go into, let's clear that out. Let's go 130, final all 13,000, there we go. Now we know we're going into LOWI 26, and we know we're going to take the Lock 26 arrival. Now I know the route isn't going to change, so I'm going to put that in now. So we go Lock 26, or Lock 26 Romeo you can have, or Lock 26 West. It depends on what you want to do. So we can look on the charts to see which one favours us. So we go to LOWI, and the charts it's on my little iPad to my left, so I'll talk you through that in a minute. In Innsbruck, there we go. Just open up the charts for an Innsbruck approach. So Lockheed is actually fine for what we want. It gives us a minimums of 4 degrees 2450. Yeah, and Lockheed. So we'll go for the Lock Romeo arrival, and we're going to go via Rattenberg, so that's fine, and we'll insert that. And we're now going to have a discontinuity which we'll take out. So we need to take out this flight plan discontinuity here. All we do is press clear and load. Okay, while that's doing now, we're going to start loading our passengers. Bring up GSX. I'm going to request boarding. EasyJet. Hopefully it'll have the jetway option. Default jetway and confirm. Okay, so we're going to start loading now with our cargo and our passengers. And we're going to go through this. So Rattenberg, okay, we want to be at 950. Don't want to be any higher really. And looking at that, we have a radio of 207 to Gatwick, and Foxtrot 26, we start our glide. So Foxtrot 26, we should still be at 95, which we are. Then we go to Lock 17, and we should start going to 87870, and then all the way down so we can check. Everything is correct here. 44063, 6.3, yes, 4400. So everything is correct there, so I'm happy with that. And later on in the flight we'll put our minimums in using this procedure. Our minimums, like I said, a 4-degree track down will be 2450. So we'll do that. I'm just going to now find Gatwick again. Gatwick. Hello, Gatwick. Just go back to my parking stands where we are. So we're at parking stand 12 at Gatwick. Then we go to 8 rights, which yep, which is okay for a runway. So it's going to be a bit of a long taxi. So everything's correct now in the FMC. We've loaded. Okay, cockpit preparation. Well, it's still going on really. So we've done all our checks. I'm happy now that we can put our altitude to what we want, so we're going to put that to 37,000 feet. We can have unrestricted climb. And that's now managed at 37,000 feet. So we're going to take the anti-skid off, ready for pushback. We're happy with our trays. I can now lock the cockpit door. Put our TCAS to auto to 000. Doesn't matter anyway because we'll stand by. Okay, we're ready to go. So,
Morning.
I think we're loading passengers now. Put the integrals up on the paddle and down on this paddle here. Hopefully it'll still be light when we load into Innsbruck, but we're ready to go anyway. So that is us with our cockpit preparations. We're loaded and everything we wanted to do. And all we've got to do now before start is we'll close the doors, close the baggage compartments, check on the fuel, check the load sheets. We'll make sure altimeters is set. So for Gatwick, just double check that it's 1023 for Gatwick. So we'll change 1023. There we are. It's about 200 feet, which is correct. And the standby. Set the standby to 1023 also. So we're all good to go. Okay, so that is us ready to go before start. We're now loading the passengers. Everything performance wise is done, and the loading is now being done. So look outside. We're just waiting for the baggage to come. The passengers are obviously coming through the jetway. So we're just waiting for the cargo. Cargo's coming here, look. It's coming the long way to us. Okay, so we'll leave the video there, and then when we're ready to go, we'll do the before start checks. We'll start on the plane, and then it'll be the taxi. So I'll see you then. Hey guys, welcome back. We've finished our loading, so we're going to check our load sheet. We can check the one here from Airbus itself. So 58.216, just over 58.2 tons of zero fuel weight takeoff. Weight will be 67.2. CNG is actually 35. Block fuel is 9. There's 129 passengers on board, 3.4 tons of cargo, which is correct. So that's all good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the APU ready to start up. So we want to go off ground power now, so what we do is we're going to press the start button on the APU, and we're going to put the beacon lights on, and we're going to take all the fuel pumps on also. So now we've got what's called a dark cockpit, so every light that doesn't need to be on is off, and blue means standby. Obviously the packs are in fault because no engines are running and the APU bleed isn't running yet. So we're looking here, wait for the flaps to open of the APU, and now the flaps open, we could go ahead and start the APU. This will roll up the APU. And we're happy when we've got APU starting, we've got APU bleeding for conditioning. We could go ahead and shut the aircraft doors and disconnect ground power and then get ready for pushback. So just waiting for that to be available. So yeah, busy time since last flight, and it's nice to have actually a flight with nice weather leaving the UK. We're going to be, it's quite sunny. It's 9 degrees, but yeah, it's okay. It's good weather. It's better than the weather we had. Okay, so the APU is now available. So let's go up and put the bleed on for the passengers. It makes them more comfortable. We can now put the seat belts on, and we can now get rid of external power. And we're going to dismiss and shut the cabin doors. So let's go ahead and close the aircraft door. And we'll go ahead to ground services, and we're going to get rid of everything. We've got our brakes on, so our ground power could go, our wheel chocks could go, and our traffic cones could go. Okay. So we are waiting for the everything to slide and armed. Weather radar is off. We don't need to go to auto just yet. Cabin door is shut. MCP, MCDU is set, and there is no flags on the equipment. So now we can request pushback. So we're going to do that with GSX, and we want to go nose left today. So let's select pushback, please. Let's prepare for pushback and departure. So number 5.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Locking gear.
So locking gear then. Just make sure all the services jetway's gone, which is good. So we're going to be taxiing from here all the way down Juliet and all the way to 8 right, which is along the back of 8 left. So just waiting for the pushback truck to go. So it'll ask us which direction we want to push, and of course we want to go nose left. So nose left, so number 2 please.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Okay, let's go ahead and we can release the parking brake.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
So we're going to actually start 2-1 pushback, 1641 hours. Don't know why that did that. Okay, let's go engine selector to start. I've got a TCA pack, which is why you're not seeing it there. Let's go ahead and start 2. And actually at the same time we can put a bit of floodlight on there. But actually we can go ahead now and put the TCAS into auto. That's fine. So engine 2 rolling up. Engine 2 is available, wait for it to stabilise.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Okay, starting 1. So other systems are coming online now. Obviously we're waiting for N1, which is the front turbine fan. N2 is already rolling, so the combustion will start at the turbine. I believe in Gatwick, we're going to be approved by airports over the next few days. This is just a free scenery airport. Engine 2 is available, so we could go to GSX. Thank you very much. We have a good engine start. Engine mode selector is to normal position. Ground spoilers is arms, flaps to 1. And now we're going to bring the trim down. This is 1 down, 2 down, 1 down is correct. Then we're going to do a flight control check. It's full left, full right,
Unlocking gear.
neutral, full up, full down, and neutral. And then we're going to do a rudder left and a rudder right and neutral. So flight controls are free and correct. Also anti-skid goes back on, auto brakes to max. Let's go ahead and turn off the APU because we've got 2 good engine starts. Go ahead and put the taxi light off, runway turn off light off, and the APU can come off now. Seatbelt sides to hard on, and we are good to go. No lights on the overhead panel. We can go ahead and do the takeoff config test also. At that point then we're going to leave the video and we're going to do the taxi, so I hope you enjoy it. So let's go ahead and check the door takeoff config. Takeoff config is normal.
Right is clear.
Okay, and we'll catch you back when we're ready for takeoff and departure. Welcome back. So now we're at the holding point for runway 8 right. So we're going to put the nose lights to taxi, and we're also going to turn on the landing lights, and we're going to inform the cabin crew ready for taxi. Everything else can stay in its normal configuration here. And at this stage, sorry, my apologies. At this stage now the weather radar can come on also. And we're already in auto configuration for TCAS. We're ready to go. So, system page on as normal, and auto brake to maximum. Ground spoilers are armed and flaps are to 1, and we're ready to go. Ready to line up, and we'll do a rolling start on runway 8 right. Just a quick reminder: we're going out on the SID Oddvic. That's Oscar Delta Victor India Kilo 2 Zulu. Departure, which is straight ahead 77 degrees on runway header, which is 4.9 miles out, and then we hit our first waypoint, which is Kilo Kilo Echo 04, and then we take a slight right track of 91 degrees for 7.2 miles to Kilo Kilo Echo 10, and from there a slight left of 89 degrees, 6.6 miles to Kilo Kilo Echo 17, and then 6 miles on the same bearing out to Oldvic. So it's quite a straightforward departure here, and we're going to get ready now to roll up on the runway. So here we go. And at this point you would have requested your clearance already, so let's go ahead and place auto throttles to arm, and I like this view for takeoff. So here we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of thrust on the aircraft, get her moving. And she's moving. Line up with the runway now. Slightly left of the centre line for coming onto the runway. I don't know why my RAS isn't working. And then let's line up.
Approaching 08 right.
Let's warm up the spools to 50%.
On runway 08 right.
Runway. Manflex, SRS, runway. $80 knots. V1 and rotates. Nice slow rotate up. So we get to a nice positive climb. Nice positive climb there. Just going to runway track. Goes positive rate gear up. Ground spoilers can retract now also. Autopilot 1 on. And let's go ahead and sort the lights out that we don't need anymore. So runway turn off lights can go off and nose gear can go off. Keep an eye on the SID, it's quite a straight run out. Place levers to climb mode. Levers are in climb. Let's start the clock. Clock started. Bit of constraints now on my side. There's the thrust acceleration now, so we're going to go up to our flap settings. So we can decrease our flap setting to 0. Wait for the speed check on that. Flap 0. And speed check flap 0. Nice clear night leaving Gatwick there. Nice view of the UK. Now climb again. And we're taking that right turn to 91 degrees for another 7 miles. About 5,000 I believe trans altitude is. About 5,000 according to the SID. Trans altitude, we're going to put our barrow to standby. Sorry, 6,000. QNH to standard, right click, QNH to standard, and left click standby. So QNH is the standard, and let's put the weather range out a little bit. It's quite an easy SID to follow, and I think we could go ahead and Turn the seat belts to auto and the PEDs to auto at this point. We're just making sure that the aircraft is following what was said. So 91 degrees, and we look at the MFD, the multifunctional display, or the ND, navigational display on the right hand side of the PFD, and we're about 91 degrees, and obviously we've got a slight crosswind coming from the left, hitting the aircraft around 31 knots, so that's okay. And then we're going to go another little slide right there to left, sorry, to 89 degrees at this next waypoint. That's 10,000, so 10,000 checks. We could go ahead and put the landing lights off, so landing lights can come off. Everything else can stay as it is for now. And that is us, that's 10,000, and now we're going to be just cruising up to our cruise altitude of 37,000 feet, and we'll see you back here on the descent, and it'll probably be when we hit Rattenberg, VOR in Innsbruck, and lining up for the Lock 26 Romeo arrival. So we'll see you then. 47 meters. Okay guys, welcome back to the video. Brought you back a little bit earlier because we are no longer arriving on runway 26 in Innsbruck due to the weather. Is now between 80 degrees and variable 2 with wind speed of 3 knots. We're going to be landing now on runway 8. Now obviously Innsbruck is an hour ahead of the UK, and we're at 10 past 6 in the evening, real time flight. As you can see, it's pretty dark in Innsbruck, so I thought, well, it wouldn't be too bad because I could do the Lock 26 and still keep that programmed in the FMGS, and then, you know, just do the circle visual to land procedure, so using radial from Rattenberger 207 down, and then using an Innsbruck radial 264, and then Oscar Echo Victor 3.5 miles away from Innsbruck, and do the circle to land on runway 8 that way. However, looking outside, because they're an hour ahead, it's gone now dark in Austria. Now just looking out my window, we're now losing the light slightly in the UK also. So I've decided to follow the RMP Zulu runway 8 arrival, which will take us from LM transition 13,000 feet, a track of 82 degrees and a glide slope of 3.6 degrees down from Whiskey India 749. Our minimums will be 2,900 feet, which is everything's already programmed in the FMGS. So we're going to be slowing the aircraft down as soon as we reach 1,300 feet and go into QNH 1028, which is as the weather dictates here. And then when we hit LM, we're going to be going to a configuration speed of 160, flaps 3, and then roughly about 10 miles out from the field, we will go to full flaps and reduce our speed to 140, or managed speed for the FMGS. But until that point, we need to be early configured because it's a 3.6 degree glide slope and I don't want to go too fast. So between 160 and 170 knots we'll start our descent down. We're now at coming to 1,300 feet, so I'm going to take the aircraft out to managed speed and I'm going to reduce us to 240 knots. And when we hit Maid B, I'm just going to zoom in again to 20. And when we hit Maid B, which is the Maid B1 Bravo arrival, which is still coming into Innsbruck, we will of course slow the aircraft down once again to flaps 1 speed of 200 knots, and then at Ellen configure for 160 flaps 3. But gear won't go down until we're roughly 5 miles away from the runway. So we're looking around Whiskey India 753 will be our gear down, flaps full point. Missed approach on this procedure is climbed to 9,500 via our nav missed approach track to Rattenberg and hold. And that's what we'll do. We'll either go back track to LM, or we'll indeed go to try for the Lot 26, and we can do the visual, but looking at outside, you don't want to do a visual approach. You wouldn't do it in the real world, so we're not doing it here. So we're at 1,300 feet, then we're going to set the barriers to QNH 1028. It's okay. It's just letting us know we're not at altitude. And we'll set that barrier also to 1028. Just check that's correct. Transition altitude is... Okay, let's close that. Try to close that window. How do you do that? I've got a window just... close that window. Okay, so just checking the barrier. QNH 1028. Okay, so we're going to reduce down to 200 green dot speed. You should be coming up to LM here. We're still at 1,300 feet at the minute. We'll put our missed approach altitude in for our descent, and we'll go to VS and heading track as our approach at track FPA. So there's 200. We've got flaps 1. I'm going to arm the approach now. So I'm activating the approach. I've got a green dot speed now of going to green dot speed now of 180 knots. I'll also select flaps 2. Obviously we don't need to worry yet about doing it when we hit LM. Our glide slope starts at 749, which is out here. So now we're at a nice speed. Remember at LM I want to go to 160. And I want to be near enough fully configured, so that's why we're reducing down the aircraft speed already. And then it's following the approach chart. So we leave LM on a track of 82 degrees. And we keep on that track until we hit Whiskey India 752, and then a track of 112 degrees, up to track 754, and then we hit a track of 77 degrees. Our gear down, remember, is at 753 just before that, still on the 112 track. So final track heading is 77 degrees. The auto brake to low set. We don't need a landing system on because we're doing an RNAV approach, so we don't need the landing system on the aircraft. It's my wife just bringing me my dinner. So we'll also get the seat belts on at this stage. Seat belts are on, and we've got a lot to do. I'm going to put the landing lights on now. Landing lights on, and we'll arm the speed brake during the descent. So I'm not going to do much talking through the descent into Innsbruck, because there's a lot to do to configure. So you can just see the mountains there to the left. So what we will do is briefing is confirmed, ECAS status is checked, seatbelt is on, the barometric is set. So there we are. So we go to landing now. Now I'm going to configure the aircraft for 160 knots. The reason why we're doing that is because it's more manageable. And we could also bring out another stage of flaps to flaps 3. Now we're going to go heading track FPS, so that's going to tell the aircraft that I'll be wanting a 3.6 degree glide slope when I initiate it at Whiskey 749 as dictated on the Zulu chart. And when I do that, I'm going to set 3,000. So I'm going to set my minimums as my decision barrow. We've got about a mile left to hit the glide slope. As soon as I've done that, and that's it. Talking's going to be done, over and done with, and we're going to follow the procedure. So VS speed, I'm not going down just yet, not until we hit the glide slope point. Well, just over half a. Okay, so now I'm going to go down at 3.6. I'm going to take the VS down all the way to 3.6. I'm going to start following that glide slope intercept. So enjoy the approach. And landing, I'll get back to you on the landing. Okay, so that's us landed. We're just finishing off the taxi on into a parking space in Innsbruck. Our landing lights now can come off. Seatbelt signs, we go to auto, and we can start up the APU, and we can take off the TCAS. We're just going to park in the first available spot just for quickness of the video. There we go, we're going to here, spot 1, I should imagine. There we are, so we're going to park into okay, yeah, 1. And then we're going to park the aircraft, and that is it. We have now stopped and waited for the APU to run up, so I can cut the engines. The APU should have started by now, it hasn't, so we can turn off the taxi and runway lights, and I'm going to place the floodlights on so I can see what I'm doing. Those floodlights on, strobes can come off, wing lights can come off. Still got the engine running for a minute. Flaps obviously open. So that's doing that. I don't think GSX will recognise the spot we're in. Gate. No, it doesn't. So we'll just pretend to let off the passengers. Okay, the APU is available, so we'll go ahead and shut off both engines. Now we can turn off the passenger signs, seatbelt signs. Beacon light can come off, and also we can turn off all the fuel pumps of the aircraft. Once we've done that, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to unload the cargo, unload the passengers. So aircraft doors, let's open that, open the cargo for now. Ground connections then, we're going to set the wheel chucks, external power. We're going to go back to the aircraft doors. Release the parking brake, open the cockpit up, windshield can come off, and then we can let the passengers off the aircraft. Then all it is now is just finishing off doing the shutdown. So there's a shutdown, so all exterior lights off, packs could go off, the APU bleed could stay off, external power is on with GPU, so APU could come off. Obviously all navs can come off, crew supply oxygen can come off, and we're in a state now to shut down the panels. This will be in a turnaround state, and that is the video done. I hope you enjoyed. Hold on a minute, so let's go outside to spot. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Well, that's really dark. There we go, bit of flight, so there we go. Hope you enjoyed the flight with us from Gatwick to Innsbruck. It took us a not very long, just over an hour and a half, and yeah, we had a vertical landing speed of 466 feet per minute. I'm quite happy with that into Innsbruck. Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Until next time, safe flights, and I'll see you again.